a living alternative to the Death Star in your mind. Human civilization is blindly driving the living systems of Earth to extinction. We need a new guiding principle to set things right. Normally, I'm upbeat about all this eco stuff, but today I feel glum. Maybe I'm hungover from the session of wine and talk with my friend last night. We were up until all hours discussing the abruptness of climate change, the overabundance of biosphere collapse, and the near total absence of transition to a sustainable global economy. If not hungover, then maybe I'm feeling the deep sadness that comes from contemplating what comes next for the humans and the millions of our earthly co-inhabitants who we have so thoroughly betrayed. Fortunately, I know that this glumness will soon pass because I have a powerful antidote to the sadness that comes from being awake to the reality of the Anthropocene. You see, I am a Perian, which means that I follow a religion called Perium. Most religions are devoted to a deity or a god, and Perium isn't like that. Perium is a non-theistic religion that is devoted to the well-being of people and our planet Earth. This is a new concept for many people, so let me explain. The definition of a religion I use here is the belief in a supernatural being, thing, or principle, and the practices that bring the belief into life. The word supernatural refers to something that is beyond proof, unable to be confirmed by science. Perium is a new religion. It was founded in 2016, that is uniquely suited to the challenges of the Anthropocene, the modern era in which the humans are the main drivers of change on this planet. Perium is positioned to become a vital tool in efforts to prevent the extinction of the human race. Now, this is a bold claim, I know, but I'm confident to say this because of the nature of Perium's belief. As a Perian, I believe in a supernatural being called Imperium Vitae Planeta. Imperium is the planet-sized superorganism that comprises all the living things on this Earth, plus the ocean, atmosphere, and the soil. Some readers will recognize this concept as a variant of James Lovelock's Gaia theory, which it is, with one important distinction. Lovelock said that Earth's biosphere had the characteristics of a living organism, whereas Perian religion says that the biosphere is a living organism. This distinction is central to the Perian religion, as the belief is just a small step away from a testable scientific hypothesis. This discipline is absent from most religions, which goes some way to explain why some of their beliefs are so outlandish and harmful. Perium believes that all the living things on Earth are cells in the body of Imperium Vitae Planeta, and that she maintains the temperature and chemistry of the ocean and atmosphere so that it is suited to life. Imperium has been doing this successfully for billions of years. When Imperium is in good health, planet Earth is an abundant home for humans. As a human, I am a single cell in the body of Imperium Vitae Planeta, as are all the other organisms on Earth. Indeed, as are all the other humans, yourself included. Some people find this concept hard to understand, but there is a simple example. It is well known that the human body includes trillions of non-human cells called microflora. These include bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms. Humans cannot live without the microflora, and so it is with Imperium, a superorganism made up of all the other organisms on the planet. Another reference for Imperium is Yuwa, the living skin on the planet Pandora in the movie Avatar. To be clear, the Perium religion does not regard Imperium as a god or a deity. Perium is a non-theistic religion, remember. Imperium didn't create the universe, and Imperium doesn't observe you or make judgments about your behavior. Indeed, Imperium is an emergent property of the natural laws of the universe, and there are probably trillions of Imperiums on living planets throughout the universe. A belief in Imperium is a powerful thing, as it obviates the annoying questions: is there a God, heaven, hell, an eternal spirit? Perians don't trouble themselves with these questions because the Perian religion explains the place of the humans in the universe, advises what right action is, and answers the big questions: where did we come from, why are we here, and what happens when we die? Perium details how you can live a meaningful life, a happy, contented life, which brings me back to my gloomy disposition today. Anyone with sufficient intelligence and empathy will understand and feel sad to see what humans are doing to this planet. As a follower of Perium religion, I choose not to close my eyes to what we humans are doing to planet Earth, the body of which I am a cell. Fortunately, Perium's philosophical foundation offers enlightenment on these matters. To be enlightened is to understand how things really are. And Perium is a unique religion in that its teachings are based on modern science, and its belief is closely tied to this science. Furthermore, unlike most religions that have a fixed text, Perium religion's texts are continually being written in scientific research institutes around the world. This is important as the adherence to science allows Perium to offer a fact-based pathway for humans and the other species of Earth to coexist deep into the long future. The concept of the long future says that our planet will be habitable for life for several billion years if it is not destroyed by human agency first. If we humans can radically change our ways, it is conceivable that our race could exist for millions more years on this planet. However, for this to happen, we need to learn how to become wise stewards of the whole Earth system. Can we do this? I believe we can. Will we do this? It's not looking good right now. If you read the science of climate, planetary boundaries, and the Anthropocene, you'll understand that we humans have triggered a perfect storm of ecocide. We have set our biosphere on a path towards the rerun of the Perian extinction, the great dying that killed off more than 80% of all living things on Earth some 253 million years ago. The Perian extinction was triggered by a rise in global temperatures of around 6 degrees Celsius. Human activities may have already triggered positive feedbacks in the climate system that lead to the same result. There are two principal differences between the original Great Dying and the second Great Dying that we humans have set in motion. The Perian extinction was caused by the release of greenhouse gases from volcanic eruptions over the period of about 20,000 years. We humans may have achieved the same since the Industrial Revolution about 200 years ago. So the second Great Dying is taking place 100 times faster than the first. Let that sink in for a moment. As well as being faster, the second Great Dying will probably be deeper than the first. And this is because we humans have accumulated toxic chemicals, radioactive elements in such volumes and concentrations that they will kill off species that may otherwise have survived a climate catastrophe. You see, the first Great Dying didn't include plastics in the ocean, ozone-depleting chemicals, artificial nitrogen, or the radioactive materials that will inevitably spew from the ruins of the nuclear industry when the power goes down and the cooling pumps fall quiet. A recent example of this comes to mind. I read an article about a coelacanth that had been found dead with a plastic bag in its stomach. Coelacanths are fishes that live in caves hundreds of meters deep in the sea. These ancient fish were able to survive the Perian extinction but seem to be susceptible to the tide of ocean plastic. Fortunately, the Perian religion has an antidote for these human-caused woes: action. If enough people believe and practice accordingly, we may be able to avert this looming extinction and instead live to enjoy the long future. The two key practices are advised by the Perian religion are to live with earthity and to follow your Perian mission. All cells in a body have common duties, such as the regulation of internal chemistry and the exchange of gases and minerals with the bloodstream. For the body to be healthy, cells need to act as good neighbors to fellow cells and to the body as a whole. Applying this to humans, we need to live with earthity, the reverence and respect for our fellow humans and the natural living systems of Earth. This concept advises Perium's golden rule: do unto others and nature as you would have them do unto you. While they all have common attributes, cells also have specialist roles in the service of the body. So too should Perians have a specific life mission that fosters the well-being of Imperium Vitae Planeta, the living planet. Some people invent clean technology, others heal injured wildlife, others again sit in the road to block the traffic in support of the Extinction Rebellion. Perians should find a Perian mission, a mission through which they can help to ensure the well-being of Imperium Vitae Planeta. Clearly, if enough people lived with earthity and pursued a Perian mission, it would be possible to swerve the trajectory of human civilization towards wise stewardship of the whole Earth system and the long future. Unfortunately, today, very few people are open to Perium or ideas like it. Instead, for the most part, Western people ascribe to a belief system that is an amalgam of short-termism, consumerism, capitalism, growth, New Age spirituality, crystals, dream catchers, and yoga, mainstream religion, and pop and celebrity culture. Adding to this are the distractions of post-truth. It is, because I believe it is. Fake news, climate denial, conspiracy theory, and pseudoscience. With all this nonsense sloshing through their heads, it's easy to understand how Western people are so disconnected from the living planet and what we are doing to it. And this mental decay is bone deep. So it's very difficult for a rational, earth-friendly, science-based belief to penetrate the force field of the Death Star that is the mind of a Western human being. This is hugely problematic because while there is plenty of money and technology to solve the world's problems, not enough people are paying attention. Looking ahead at the darkening storm clouds, it seems almost inevitable that civilization will collapse before the humans wake up to what is going on. Perhaps the wake-up will happen as the collapse unfolds. This is possible, but so much damage has been wrought to key Earth systems, climate, biodiversity, ocean acidification, the nitrogen cycle. It's hard to see how we could avert ecological collapse and civilizational collapse, even if we were fully awake. Complicating any efforts we might take, the response of the Earth system is influenced by lags, momentum, heat buildup, tipping points, and positive feedback loops. There are consequences to what we have done and what we have been doing to the planet for the past 200 years. We can't just halt 200 years of Earth abuse and expect everything to be okay. So much madness and misery is already baked in. Today is better than tomorrow and will be so for decades to come. No longer is the question, can we avoid collapse? The biosphere and climate is already collapsing. The question is, how do we slow and then stop the collapse that is already underway, assuming that we can? No one knows what comes next out of the spectrum of collapse scenarios. The best case scenario might be a collapse of industrial civilization that happens soon while there is still a functioning biosphere, and the establishment of a successful civilization that struggles through decades or centuries of hardship before the climate restabilizes. The worst case is a rapid plunge into the second great dying, which leads to the eradication of most species on Earth, with humans amongst the first to go. Either way, there is much madness coming our way. And as such, it is necessary to adopt a philosophical frame that is suited to the coming changes. And this ultimately needs to be based on evidence, fact, and science, and a reverence for the biophysical systems that make life possible. And this is what Perium offers. The ongoing development of the religion seeks to help people enjoy meaningful lives despite the collapse going on around them. So if you're wondering why you are here and what you ought to do with your life, I suspect you might be reading the right document or listening to the right video. You might consider becoming a Perian, living with earthity, and getting your teeth into your own personal Perian mission. This bold new religion will help you deal with the inevitable challenges that lie ahead and position you to be one of those people who can help make it better.